Hi everyone. Today I'll be showing you how I implemented the A/B testing for one of the new feature that is implemented on this application. Let me explain the application, how it works. Onto the left side, we have a list of item. We can select any of the item, or we can double click it to move it onto your right, or you can select one of the item and click the arrow to move it onto your right. Similarly, you can do the vice versa, select it and onto, when you click onto the left arrow, it will move it onto the left. So this OK button, when we click onto the OK button, we get the description of these two items which are onto your right. The A/B testing that we'll be doing onto this OK button. So as of now, the color comes out to be red, but if we refresh it, it can be blue, or it can be red. So we are trying to do the A/B testing onto the color of this button. So to implement that thing, we have a different ways. So one of the way is to using the deployment slot. So with the deployment slot, basically you need two slots onto the production environment. Say it prod slot and or a staging slot, and you need to deploy a different code in both of the slot, and you need to move the traffic from production to 50% of traffic from production to staging slot. So with this, there is like another thing that I would like to include, like you need to have a premium pricing or a standard pricing uh, to have this deployment slot running. So the other way to do is using the feature flag. So with the feature flag, the benefits are like you can do it onto your development machine. You don't need to actually deploy onto the production or do anything like that. The other thing is like it is very much configurable. So once you have deployed into your production, and suppose it is not liked, you want to remove it. So you can easily disable that feature from the app configuration file. You don't need to have the CID/CD process running to test it onto your local environment. The other way of doing it could be using the front gate. So with the front gate, again, you need two different code that need to be deployed onto into different regions. And so, yeah, this will again require the CI/CD process to execute and deploy the code. And if that thing is not required, you need to again publish deploy a thing onto a staging or onto a staging to revert back. Okay, let me show you how this application, how we have achieved, like how we are getting the data for the logs for the uh, popularity. So this is application inside application inside we have the logs. So we can go on to the logs, and this is the query. You run the query and you can get the number of hits onto red button and number of hits onto blue button. Okay, I'll just go through the code changes that I have to do to implement that thing. So onto the program file, I have added this Azure app configuration, and I added the feature management thing. And if I go onto the para controller, so there initially when I'm refreshing, so it is initializing my web page. So earlier it was just trying to get the initial variable. But with this, I did just a bit of change, trying to get the color of the button from the app configuration feature flag, along with initializing all the data onto the first page. The other change I did is onto para-write controller. So basically, when we are clicking the OK button, so it is getting all the description for the items which are onto write. So this is the procedure that this is the API that is being called. So along with that, I just added one more post request that will be logging the button color. It will be basically logging a warning onto application inside. Okay, let me show you the changes onto the front end. So onto the front end, I have to that deletes. This is the refresh service. It is as it is. No change into that because it is calling the delete, and onto the delete, I did make and change to get the button color of the button. So yeah, the change is onto the para get para right description. So earlier we were just getting the data onto right. So along with that, we are also doing the post request of the button, like the color of the button that has been the color of the button. Yeah, so yeah, well, that was a quick rundown of A/B testing implementation, and I do look forward to implement the same onto production. Thank you.